So today I'm here with you, Ms. Lee Loy. You're known to be the mogul of networking. You have a favorite line that goes, if you're not networking, you're not working. What does that really mean?
Well, exactly what it says. If you're not networking, you are not working. Today, you can only get things done through people. So the more that you are in conversation with people, is a likelihood that you will get to know them better, and clearly by getting to know them better, they also know you, and therefore by increasing your network, you're able, particularly if you're looking at business, is people will more quickly remember you. I think what is important is when you're looking at networking, it's not really just running around and saying hi and greeting everybody. That's very far from networking. In fact, you could network with just one person. You go somewhere, you go to a conference, and you're just sitting next to someone, and you just say, you introduce yourself the first thing, and say, well, where you're from was probably why, in fact, you're at the conference, because very often people don't know how to strike up a conversation. And coming out of that, you just never know where the conversation will go. There will be things you may have in common, be it a hobby or whatever. And to some extent, in understanding the other person, there's a certain amount of empathy that will come out in that conversation with the person. And overall, this is anywhere in your life. You network from even when you're a kid, a young person coming up, your friends, because at the end of the day, your friends are a big part of your network. And very often, I think in network, it's not necessarily who you know, but who know you, who know of you. And sometimes the word that comes back through is connections of connections. So it's not necessarily you at all, because workers come to me which simply says, so-and-so is calling for you because Mr. X told them about you. I don't know who is Y, but the common thing is I know X and the Y knows X, and therefore that is a form of networking. So really, it's just getting to know people and interacting with them, as the case might be, would be the key things, I will tell you.
You mentioned that it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And you also mentioned that networking is pretty easy, or should be pretty easy, but some of us do not have the confidence to approach someone just to say hi or hello. Do you have any tips on how someone can build their confidence just to make that first reach out to say hi, hello to someone that they don't know?
Well, would you imagine when I was younger how absolutely shy I was?
No.
Nobody did. Exactly. But very, very shy. Very, very shy. But the thing about it is, just assume they also might be shy on the other side. And if you ever really think about it, if you go up to somebody and you just greet them, do you think they just walk away from you? They don't. They'll most probably open up to you. I know I've told this to some people and they think it's rather crazy. But you could go up to a group of people that you don't know. And if you ever really think about it, if the group of people are there and they're talking to each other and you just present yourself, do you think they will close up? No, they wouldn't. They will open up and they will let you in. That I am sure you will see. But I think people are just so scared to do it.
Yes.
And actually, they'll most probably welcome you, and there you go, meeting a whole other set of friends. So, it's really about taking that first step. Don't assume that nobody else wants to meet you.
They may actually give you a high five and say, wow, this person has a lot of confidence to enter into our conversation.
Yes.
There are a lot of concerns with the changes to networking, given what has happened to us, globally with COVID and the pandemic. How can one still network in these trying times?
The fact that we are not able to meet each other as we would, distancing is very important. To be healthy, and obviously to keep into this distancing with COVID, and a lot of things has gone virtual. Clearly, there are endless virtual webinars going on. We know for running our meetings, we are meeting on Teams, or whether it's Skype, whether it's Zoom. There's so many platforms one can use to actually be in touch with people. And then there's a basic telephone, okay, which has always been there. And the thing about it is being able to network within that environment. Very often, I think when you are in a meeting, you can see each other.
Yes.
You can clearly see each other. And therefore, you get the same antics and everything that you would have done if you were physically in their presence. The conversation does not have to be different to rather you were meeting in person. But what I will say, because people have gone through what they've gone through with COVID-19 and everybody have had their challenges, I would say that there's a greater amount of sensitivity and gentleness and empathy in conversations during this COVID period. So in fact, that's a great thing, right? Because people are so conscious. I mean, one of the basic things like that. So how are you? Are you safe? Are you keeping safe? So again, it just shows you that there's the opportunity to really bring out the best in an environment like this. So have you ever considered, I do there are a lot of clients I have, and I have a little book I write everybody's name in. And every so often I say, I haven't spoken to so a long time. And I'll pick up the phone and I'll talk to them about anything, nothing to do with work. How are they going? How's their grandchildren? Let's say I know there's a problem with a daughter. How is that going? Whatever. The fact that you're able to carry on those conversations and they're just so happy that somebody took the time to call them and talk about this situation. That is what you will call seriously good networking, if I can put it in that context. Because you're really going out from wanting to meet someone. And I think the fundamental thing, if I were to really say about networking, it's not about what you could get out of somebody, which is what I think people think networking is. It really is, what good can you do for the person that you're reaching out to? So that is your focus. The conversation becomes very authentic, very caring. I mean, why wouldn't somebody want to continue to talk with you or be grateful that you called them? So really, I think it's from where we're coming from in the conversation. But I think there are tremendous opportunities in this time.
I have to agree with you, and I didn't think about it that way before, in terms of it's not what what someone can do for you, but it's more of what you can do for that person. I want to thank you for joining us here today and taking the time out, and I'm sure to go back with, I'm taking that line by the way, it's not what it is,
if you are not networking, you're not working. And there's a reason I have the two negatives, because it is more emphatic, right? If you're not working, you are not networking, right? You could say that another way, but I think that has a punch in it that is very, very, very important. I may just want to say one word if that is important. We all have to be a force for good. That is important. So regardless of what you're doing, be it in your conversations, in your actions, that is the complete, what networking should look like. Because nobody wants to be with anybody they do like, right? So carefully think the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Never about what you can get out of it, but what you can give to the other person. Because you know what? You never know where it could lead. Okay?
Thanks. Thank you, Ms. Leroy, for joining us today. Thank you.